Azzy by Barnabas Deimos. I sit and watch as I always do. A brief moment in the park as the snow illuminates like a giant white blanket. Kids are playing and enjoying themselves as their parents sit around drinking steaming cups of a variety of warm beverages. Despite the snow and the frigid temperature, the sunlight still brightens everyone's faces in a serene smile, all so cheery. And here I sit on a bench enjoying this moment of serenity and simply people watching on my break. Clad in my thick black coat that disguises my normal thin frame into some possibly pudgy mess. I see no bother in smoothing it out as no one seems to bother to look at me. In truth, I think they ignore me. No one wants to admit to themselves that I'm there, something they all fear, especially for their offspring. Some of the older folks will pay me attention just a little bit. They'll nod slightly or simply shake their heads. A ball rolls towards me. I kick it back towards the kids who had come chasing after it. No word of thank you. Didn't even look in my direction. Only caring about the little ball with the picture of Dora the Explorer on it. A pity that none came near me. I could do with a pick-me-up. It always gives me a smile when I take a little one. The news flashes that always go all about, calling my work so terrible and so sad. It serves as a reminder to everyone watching that no one is safe. It also serves as a reminder to cherish what they have when they have it. Bitter, sweet terror wrapped around morose sentimentality. It does make me smile. But then again, I'm always smiling. And as I think to myself, what the hell, I'll grab one just for the fun of it, something catches my attention like an air raid siren. Amidst the trees, I see someone. A young one sitting by the trees all by his lonesome, no one paying him any mind. I do so love it when I get a chance to talk to them first, before I turn their world and everyone else's upside down. I stride over, passing by everyone on the walkway, homing in on my prey. I see him sitting against the tree. He's all bundled up with a bit of a red nose. A bit of a prominent vein in his head catches my attention. He holds something in his thick gloved hands. Yes, this one is due for someone like me. What have you got there, sport? He looks up at me and blinks a few times. To him, he just sees an older, well-kempt lady. Audrey Hepburn might come to mind, if he even knew who Audrey Hepburn was. I smile because I know that's what he sees, instead of his eventual demise.
I'm not supposed to talk to strangers.
Well, you can call me Azzy. What's your name?
Pat?
Well then, Pat. Nice to meet you. We're no longer strangers. I smile casually. Now, what have you got there?
A squirrel. His leg's busted.
He sounds older than what his age would normally entail. Perhaps he's trying to sound mature and impressive. Well, let me take a look. He opens his hands, and there a rapidly breathing squirrel cowers, his hind leg unrecognizable as having once been an appendage. Instead, it looks like a long string of fur and strawberry jam. The really good, chunky kind of jam, at that.
I found him like this while I was walking around. I think a dog or a cat might have attacked him.
He looks down somberly and pets the head. The poor thing, attempting to find succor in the gentle gesture.
I've been holding it in my hands since.
I laugh a bit, trying to stave off the inevitable, much like this conversation. And what were you doing? Trying to keep it warm? Or breathe some life back into it? I say condescendingly. It was just too amusing to me when I see people thinking they can stave off death, even when it's their own.
No, I was trying to suffocate it.
My eyes stop and linger on him for a moment, letting the silence of that moment weigh heavily. Now then, that I wasn't expecting. And why is it that you want to put him to death?
Because he's suffering for being alive. Because he wasn't strong enough or fast enough to get away from whatever animal did this to him. It's a sad fact, but this squirrel should have died already. I was just trying to get him there faster.
His tone is so self-assured that I cannot help but beam with pride for the kid's level of understanding things. Perhaps a swifter death will do, I say. Snap its neck. It will be quick and painless for it. And to my astonishment, without a word of protest, he does it. The simple little click of the poor beast's neck breaking in two, echoing, and louder to the both of us than any sound the park patrons were making. Well, now, I wasn't expecting this today. No, I know. You've put me in a good and rather generous mood.
You're welcome,
he says, sincerely but without attachment, as he lets the beast to the ground and buries it underneath the snow. I quirk my eye a bit. So, what exactly is a unique mind like yours doing out here all alone? Silence for a moment as he looks away. The sound of children and people having a fun time filling the air, but still seeming far away.
I ran away. I was mad at my mom and dad because they wouldn't let me draw pictures.
What kind of pictures? I ask, finally sitting next to him.
These kind.
He reaches under his coat and slides out a piece of paper.
I'm not even mad anymore, but I know they are. I'm too afraid to go home.
Unfolding it, I see a rather unique piece of drawing. Amateur, of course, due to his age. But still, the morbidity of it was undeniable. Any parent would disapprove. A stick figure skeleton cavorting in a graveyard. Childish though it was, it reminded me of why I was here to begin with.
I don't want to go home. They're just gonna make me draw how they want me to. They're just trying to make me like all the other kids.
Again, he looks down at the little squirrel's grave.
I'm never gonna go home.
Tell you what. When I'm in a good mood, everyone gets a bit of it. So I'm going to give you something.
Oh yeah? What's that?
He looks up at me, a hopeful expression on his face. He must think I'm some rich old bird about to give him $1 million. I'm going to give you the rest of the day to live.
What do you mean?
His frightened voice catching in his throat, he begins to scramble upwards. It means I was planning on taking your life today. Your mother and father will be so sad and so angry. They'll hate themselves for forcing you to run away. They'll lament for not being more lenient on your little artistic genre. Imagine the heart-wrenching scream they would have given, seeing your dead corpse wheeled in like a slab of half-frozen meat. Most likely even partially nibbled on by the little animals that populate this forest. And they will forever be forced to think of you as hating them. Wide eyes stare back at me dumbfounded. I continue. Good. That image is in your head. But it doesn't have to happen that way. Instead of killing you now, I'll happily wait. You can go home, tell your mother and father you love them, forgive them, talk to them, play with them. All in all, be happy with them until you are nice and tuckered out. Your mother will take you to your bed and tuck you in, kiss you on the head and bid you good night.
So, you won't kill me if I go talk to them? I get to live if I tell them I love him?
He says, so full of hope, that voice. Hope. Always a bit hilarious to me. I laugh a bit and answer, oh God, no. No, you are going to die tonight. But it's your choice. Frozen death with a spectacular display of emotional fireworks, or something more dignified with a bittersweet ending.
What if I tell my parents?
Then you get wonderfully confused and very uncomfortable. And finally, a terrifying last few moments of your life before I snuff you out. I lean down and look at him face to face, eye to eye. Do not throw away my generosity. I can make it so much worse for you than just a frozen death. Much worse. My voice may as well have been that same slab his frozen corpse would have been on.
I believe you.
Good. Compliance always pulls me back into a sunnier disposition. Run along home, you little scamp. I'll be seeing you tonight.
Thank you.
As he picks himself up and runs along home, I wait, like I promised, until nightfall. It's easy enough to get to his home. I know this city like the back of my hand, every inch of it. A little two-story number, so quaint. And I see the lighted window upstairs. The shades are drawn, but I can see the shadowy silhouetted woman and young child being put to bed. The light goes out and I shimmy my way to the window. I tap quietly on it and open it quietly. The little one lays quietly in bed, wide-eyed and full of a gambit of emotions. Those little orbs following my shape as I make my way inside without making a sound. Did you do as I asked?
Yes. I told them I loved them. I told them I forgave them. And they forgave me. They even said they were gonna go and look for me to get art lessons.
The voice was quiet and almost resolute.
We had dinner and then we played Pictionary.
Are you satisfied with how today ended?
Yes. Thank you for letting me have it.
Came a sincere gratitude. Good. Now shut your eyes and go to sleep, and we will be done with it.
Will it hurt?
No. You'll be asleep, dreaming most likely. And then you'll just stop dreaming.
Can I ask you one more question?
Turns his head on the pillow and slowly closes his eyes. Of course you can.
Is your real name Azzy?
Yes. Well, sort of. It's short for something else.
Short for what?
The sleepy child finally succumbs to the Sandman mid-question. Rather adorable, I'd say. I stare and watch for a bit, until I see his eyes dart around behind their lids. He's dreaming. I reach out and press my finger to his temple. I finally let the aneurysm that should have ruptured in that frigid park finally burst. In the warm bed he was so lovingly tucked into. Quietly and painlessly, his brain succumbs to the loss of blood. I answer solemnly, in the dark and to no one. It's short for Azrael.